Welcome everyone to Dancehousedance podcast. I'm your host Will Morales, and for those of you who are tuning in for the first time, this podcast is about everything house music, whether you're a DJ, a dancer, a skater. It all comes through here, Dancehousedance podcast. And today, my guest is DJ Redbull. Redbull, what's up, my brother? How you doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me.
No, it's my pleasure. So I saw Redbull, DJ Redbull, probably about a month ago at Pier 35 here in New York City. And when I first heard him play, I was like, okay, not bad. He's playing good. And then he kept on and on and on. I'm like, holy shit, this guy's really good. So I asked him, I think a week or two later, if he could be on the show. So I've been trying to get this brother on for the last couple of weeks, but he's finally here. Anyway, DJ Redbull, thank you so much for being Dancehousedance Podcast. How are you, my brother? What's going on otherwise?
Everything's great. I'm feeling good. And I'm looking forward to the 2025 season.
Yeah, it's right around the corner. You believe that shit? So anyway,
Yep.
DJ Rebel, tell us a little bit about yourself. When did you start listening to house music? When did you start DJing? So let's talk about when did you start hearing house music?
I started hearing house music back when I was in junior high school. I would say in '86.
Okay.
That's when I discovered the music through friends and family members like my brothers. They would have mixtapes and I would listen to them, and I caught a glimpse of the music. I fell in love with it. It intrigued me,
Right.
and it took me to a place, that I wanted to be at that time. And it took me there.
Right.
It took me to a place where I felt comfortable.
Yeah. No,
And
I that I understand. Yeah.
I started listening to it more. I was into other genres of music, but something about this house music captivated me.
Right. No, and listen, I when I listen to any type of house record and I hear something that I like, I could just close my eyes and I'm somewhere. Like it takes you on a journey. I always believe that. Do you remember when did you start DJing? Like when was I don't know if you remember your first gig, but like when did you start practicing? Do you remember that coming up?
Yeah, I started DJing. It was in the summer of '89.
Okay.
Um, I winded up having a part-time job during the summer, saved up money so I could get myself a little equipment, mess around with, like a belt drive turntables I remember having,
Yeah.
Gemini mix. I started off from the bottom and then I worked my way up.
And
And
that's
and I started collecting records from there
right.
to different record shops at the time.
Uh-huh. Okay, no, listen, that's how you got to do it. Did you follow any of the DJs growing up? Any of those DJs were your favorites or you like to listen to?
I would say the first DJ that I've listened to on the radio was Tony Humphries.
Oh yeah, of course. I
We
remember
were
Tony Humphries. Yes.
doing a Saturday night dance party. It was on 98.7 Kiss FM. He would do a 12 midnight to 3 a.m. and I would pop a tape, record his session. And this is before I went to Zanzibar. For the first time, I went to a club called Zanzibar. And when I heard him on the radio, I was like, I would love to see him one day. And sure enough, I went to see him play at Zanzibar back in '89,
Yeah.
1990. Started going there, and it was great, man. The first time I went there, it captivated me once again. Like, but the sound system was incredible. Tony Humphries was there. He was rocking the house. And I told my brother's friend who was there that this is awesome and that I want to get myself involved in this. This is something that I want to do.
So you knew at that point, listening to Tony Humphries, going to Zanzibar, that you said, "Yo, this is what I want to do. This is that was the aha moment for you, and you said, "Yo, I want to be a DJ."
When that happened, that's when I started saving up money and buying equipment and buying records. I tried to buy some records that he used to play, but they were so hard to get.
I could imagine. Do you remember your first gig? Like, were you at a house party, a club, a park? Do you remember a little bit, at least, of
The,
your first gig?
my first gig was at Soulgasm. It was known as the Leopard Lounge, but
Okay.
the event was called Soulgasm. It was Redness. Her name is Kim Haynes. She goes by the name of Redness. And I gave her a mix CD at the time. She heard my mix. She called me and told me she loved the way I played. And she would love to have me as a guest DJ.
Nice.
That's when I lit up and I said, wow, finally, someone actually complimented my abilities to, play music and mix and blend them
Right.
the way Hum to do it.
Yeah, of course. Listen, I get it. I mean, that was a guy that you were following. Um, One of the things I wanted to ask you is, how did you meet Crazy Carlos? Like, how did that partnership happen?
Wow, I first met Crazy Carlos back when Nick was playing in Central Park.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
It
yeah.
was Nick at night. I went to that event, and that's when I first met Crazy Carlos. And his energy caught my attention
Yeah,
because
I
I
know.
that's the way I feel about the music. Like I love the music so much that I want to share it with everyone. And
Right.
he's that way. He energizes the crowd. He, gets their attention and gets them going the way he likes to keep going. You know, he's part of the party.
Oh yeah, no, no, definitely. One of the things I want to ask you, and we're talking with DJ Red Bull. When you are playing, how how much does the crowd play into your mixing? In other words, if you're playing, let's say "Love Is the Message," and everybody's dancing, and then you go with another record, and all of a sudden you see the crowd. Some of them are dancing, but some of them stop. Does the crowd play a big role in what you play? Does it matter that the crowd, whether they're dancing or not? Do you care? How does it, like, what's Red on DJ Red Bull's mind?
Well, in my mind, when I'm playing, I don't play for myself. I play for the dancers.
Right.
I I I pretty much know what they want to hear without them requesting it, just by reading their body language.
Right.
So if they're dancing to this groove, I'm gonna continue with that groove, but on a higher scale.
Right.
And I'll just build it up, you know, just like an airplane where you have an entry and then you lift off. But the most important part is the re-entry. That's
That's dude. Yeah.
that's when you have the crowd remember you for that particular event. Like, wow, this person captivated me. This person really intrigued me by the way he did what he did. So it's similar to being on the airplane. You know, you lift off and then you land, but the landing is the most important part of the
Right, right.
music and putting it, you know, to get the crowd to want more of you.
Yeah, yeah, no, no. I see. That's what I like to know because if I'm in the crowd and I'm dancing, and then the DJ starts playing something different, then I'm like, all right, maybe I'll sit this one out, and then I'll see what he's playing. I mean, I know some DJs warm up and then they grow. Like you said, they'll start on the ground and they go up. Um, do you ever have to deal with people that are either bothering you, like, oh, why are you playing this record? How come you're not playing oldies? Or do you deal with people that are asking for requests? As a DJ, I'm not a DJ, but as a DJ, that has to be a pain because I've done it, and I could tell the DJ's like, "Oh man, really?" So I stopped that shit years ago. Sometimes I might do it on occasion, but I can see you laughing. So I know you dealt with that, right? With the guys that are bothering you, like, "Why are you playing this?" and people asking you to for requests. So talk more about that.
Yeah, for some it becomes a distraction, but for others
Yeah,
you just let it fly and just go with the flow.
right.
You know, you're gonna have distractions happening. Just don't let it get to you. You know, just control the crowd through the music.
Right. Hmm. I like that. Control the crowd with the music. That's deep. I like that. When you go and get your records, right? I'm pretty sure you hear them first, and then right then and there, do you decide that this is the record that I know could get the crowd jumping, or you need to hear it a couple of more times, or you're like, I'm not feeling this record, Or do you ever buy a record that maybe you didn't feel at the beginning, but then when you got home or you got to let's say Pier 35 here in New York City, and you play it, and you go, oh man, I made the right choice. Does that ever come into play when it comes to picking records?
Yes, it does. It really does because when you play it, if you have a quality sound and you know that can make the crowd move, that would be an excellent choice, in my opinion.
Right,
Yeah. So it does play and sound. If it sounds right, then you have a fair chance of getting the crowd moving.
right,
There are some tracks that may not be impressive, but you can also try to work with it. Maybe throw a remix on the fly
right.
to make it more interesting. That's a possibility, but it all depends on the ear of the DJ.
Right. Okay. No, that's that. See, because to me, when I hear certain records that, let's say, like some of you guys will play, then I'll like, okay, but then like you say, they're throwing a mix there somehow, and I'm like, oh, they got these two records playing. Now it takes that record for me, to another level. Um,
Yes.
one of the things I wanted to ask you is like, right when you started working with Crazy Carlos, how did he get you to work with him, or um, did you guys just have a mutual understanding about the music, and you guys just naturally hook up because you guys love the house music?
We hooked up at 35.
So that was
That's
your
where
first
we
gig
really
there
hooked up.
with him. Did you?
35.
Yeah. So Pier 35, you started playing with him. Was so when I saw you a couple of weeks ago to a month ago, that was your first gig with him.
30. He had those lights. He brought those lights, his sound equipment,
Yeah.
and he then he asked me to tag along. The he enjoyed it, and he really digs the way I play.
So he heard you play before.
Yeah, he played before at I I was a guest at the Sandbar.
Oh, is that the Sandbar in New Jersey, or am I thinking of something else?
Uh, a corner in Brooklyn.
Oh, okay, okay. So he heard you play there, and then he invited you to come down to Pier 35.
That's correct.
Okay. So, and and I like that you guys are there. Too bad it's winter is here basically, and you guys are not going to be there until I guess you find a warm day, and then you guys will come out. But I love the location where you guys are at in Pier 35 here in New York City because that's a great location. I like it. It's pretty much everything is there. The bathrooms are there to if you want to eat, if you want to, take the take the South Ferry. That's right there. So everything is all near. Let me ask you something, DJ Redbull, before I let you go. When you're not playing, what does Red Bull do for hobby? What does he do to relax?
For relaxation, I'll listen to some music. I won't play them, but I'll listen to them. Yeah.
Okay, so that's what you do. Okay, that's cool. And one more thing, if a DJ's coming up, a brand new DJ, up and coming DJ, what would you recommend for them, for him or her to?
Okay.
Okay, so what is one thing you would recommend a DJ, a brand new DJ, whether I guess a man or woman, they're up and coming? What would you recommend for them to like, you know, how to get their start?
For them to love what they do, practice, enjoy it, share the love with it.
Yeah. No, that definitely goes a long way, man. If you love what you're doing, you're sharing it and everything. Well, first of all, Red Bull, I want to thank you so much for being on Dancehousedance podcast. It was my pleasure to have you on. And if you have any gigs coming up, or do you want to promote anything before I let you go? Like, where can people find you?
So they can find me at Twitch, www.twitch.tv / the Red Bull 1973.
Okay. Anywhere else you wanna let them know, or just there? That's the best place to find you and your music.
That's to find me on doing live videos, internet radio.
On Twitch. Did I get that right? Was it Twitch?
Y- yes.
Okay. Yeah, I'll definitely put that on the show notes. And if any other links you want me to promote and put on the show notes, let me know. But first of all, DJ Red Bull, thank you so much for being on Dancehousedance podcast. I really appreciate it, my brother.
It was my honor, privilege, and pleasure.
All right, man. Thank you so much, man. Take care, brother.